Hi, you guys. Figured out that I am going to be doing this, even though I'm technically on vacation already. Can somebody give me a thumbs up if they can hear me and make sure that I'm live? Or hearts, or yes, we can hear you in the chats. Anything like that would work to get us kicked off. All right, thank you. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with the top, which Taryn made it to the top there. But we're going to first do, I'm just using the yantra deck because I'm in a home setting. So just the yantra for this week. So we'll do one for the beginning of the week. Okay, so this is our start of our group reading. Attention this sideways is basically telling us that we could work on being more present. We could work on grounding ourselves, being more available to what that even means, that kind of thing. The helper card is breath upside down. So this is kind of going to goes with the theme of what I'm doing, which is disconnecting a little bit, letting yourself have some space to just, not necessarily be connected to all things, okay? And then towards the end of the week, there's going to be some things that are not wrapped up yet. The completion card upside down is like there's something that's still needing to be fulfilled or finished up for you. That's just going to be the way this week is going to go, okay, as we go into July. All right, so let's do the 1, 2, 3s. So this is the start of your reading. Okay, so you want to think of what number most resonates to you. 1, 2, or 3. All right, so this is your first card as you're watching, and then we will get more cards for you as we go along. Okay, so 1 is intention right side up. So this, if you got 1, you're being asked to be really clear with the universe what you want this week, okay? So making sure that you sit down, maybe write some intentions out. We just did our intentions and affirmations last week. It was so fun. But when you say, I intend, and you declare it for yourself every single day, you actually really will start to fall in line with what you are doing. Your actions will start to follow that. If you picked 2, vision upside down. So this might not be a visioning week for you if you picked 2, okay? So this is maybe a week for you to just say, I'm not necessarily going to be able to see what's the big picture, so I'm going to step back for now. If you picked 3, you've got some emotional work to do, okay? So that's going to tell you to go ahead and do some presence with your emotions, really letting yourself be emotional and be in the emotions and see how old the emotions are. The more momentum the energy of the emotions have, that oftentimes that's because there's some blockages, some things that have been unaddressed. Okay, so let's get started with the me pleases. All right. All right, so Taryn, you're at the top here. Your focus for this week is going to be devotion sideways, okay? So what this is saying is you want to find the relationships that are helping you grow and let go and not pay attention to the ones that are draining you, okay? So the devotion is I'm dedicated to myself first, and then you're dedicated to yourself first, and together we're something we couldn't be apart, right? So this card is basically asking you to work with your relationships a little bit more this week, okay? All right. Cynthia, you got contentment upside down. So this says recognizing the illusion of greener pastures. This card is basically saying that you might be doing the if and wins to yourself this week, and to be careful about that because we can always be if and winning ourselves to death. And that would be a lot for us to have, to be chasing. Is kind of like a trail chaser. I'll be happy when this happens. If this happens, then it'll be okay. And it's just being on the lookout for that this week, okay? All right, Kimberly S. You've got creativity sideways and says being the instrument. This is like being in a creative energy, okay? So this is where you're not doing creativity. You're not necessarily writing it out, doing the thing, painting the painting, but instead you are just sitting with those ideas and you let those ideas kind of brew inside of you this week. Just be with your creativity. Miranda Z. You got choices sideways. What this is basically saying, Tiva, is this week is a week where you have to be with the choices that it would be beneficial for you to be with your choices that have already been made. Okay. So not to make new choices, not to do the plan B thing, but instead to just be in love with what's already going on, what your last week choices is leading to this week's actions. Okay. So just really let that go through. It's not really a week where you're making new pathways. You're following the pathways that have already been started. Elizabeth R. You've got joy sideways. Okay. So this is basically saying that there's some things you could be in joy. You can choose joy a little bit more, feeling in joy. Let yourself really acknowledge that there's a feeling that maybe could be enhanced inside of you, and see if you can get that going this week the best that you can with your skill sets. Burnout proof leaders. Your focus for the week is devotion sideways. So again, you guys, we start to see messages that come again and again. It may be for all of us, but this card for you is not the same as Terrence. Terrence was the other direction. This card for you is to take action to make relationships stronger. Okay, so this week would be a week to really be devoted to the right relationships and be sure to really pay attention to those relationships, grow them. I'm seeing deeper roots in very specific relationships. Okay, so kind of going deeper with the people who earned to go deeper. Christy, you are working on choice sideways. Okay, so again, this is just do the thing you've already chosen to do. Okay, so this is basically the choice has been made. Now take the actions to follow through with those choices. So do the things that you said you wanted to do. Okay, Heidi, you got generosity sideways. Okay, so this is basically saying be generous, but with your time, your energy, your heart, where it makes sense. Okay, where you have it to give, not necessarily giving yourself away in the places that would just drain you. Okay, Lisa, see? You've got temple sideways. So what that is actually saying is do some things for your body. Okay, it says honoring the body at the top. This is basically like, what can you do to honor your body this week? That's the focus for you. Do the things for the body. Okay, so whatever that may look like or feel like, just to really get into letting your body know that you honor it and you realize that it is one of your aspects of spirit. Okay. Crystal, Isabel, Genevieve, and Chris. All right, let's see. Crystal, you got happiness upside down, okay? It says being the source, but this week, maybe you're not so happy. Maybe this week the happiness is not necessarily coming. Sometimes we just get these messages to warn us that this week might be a little bit difficult and to just take really good care of yourself during the difficult time, okay? Isabel, you got blessings upside down. Oh no, I think, happy birthday, Isabel. Hopefully you had fun at Waterworld. This card, blessings upside down, is not a week to be receiving. Maybe a week to do, but you're not necessarily going to get what you put in this week. And that's okay. Again, these cards just come to tell us not this week. Okay. So the blessings cards upside down may not totally feel like you know what's the blessing right now. Sometimes it's hard to see the blessing when it first happens. Genevieve, you got simplicity, which is upside down. So complicated. Things are complicated this week. So being really good and supporting yourselves and each other, okay? It seems like this week might be a lot. Chris, impeccability sideways. This card basically says walking the path, but it's sideways. So it says that you can never get off track, okay? So your path, you're always on the path. It's just, maybe you're not getting off on the off ramp that you intended to get off on, but you can circle around and come back to it. But this card says be impeccable with your path. Like really choose what's going to really bring you and your life forward the way that you would like. Okay. Jenny V, you got vision right side up. So you've got some some work to do with your visioning. Okay. So sit with it, build it, spend time telling yourself what you would really like things to become. Give yourself a chance to really enhance the time that you have with how things are looking. Big picture, zoom out, that kind of thing. Okay. Janelle and Donnie. Janelle, you got bliss sideways. Okay. And what I'm hearing about this on this card is being in the relationships that are serving you. And with the bliss being sideways, it's basically saying I'm, not necessarily everybody's for you or going to be, supporting you the way you would like. And it's okay to kind of stay in alignment with those who will. Okay. Donnie, you got support upside down. Okay. So giving and receiving. What this is saying to you is that this week may not be the week where you'll get the support you request or require. And that's okay. It's just, again, it's kind of like the messages that Crystal was getting this week. Okay. This week may feel like you're not getting the support you deserve. The triangles are there. The triangles are always about relationships and other people maybe taking more than they tend to take or intend to give, that kind of thing. Okay. Janice, you've got exhale sideways. So surrendering. So this says be in the surrender. So be is like, so I don't actually do anything. I'm just putting myself in alignment with the act of just letting go and like lying on the ground, not really doing much else. Okay. So really let yourself be in alignment with that. Mountain River. You got emotions sideways. Second time we've seen this like this. This is basically saying be in an emotional energy where you are allowing the emotions to flow, but also don't stay anywhere too long. Be with the emotion, let it flow, let it shift, let it change. Okay. So this week, the emotional energy wants to be with, but flow as well. Aaron T. Aaron, you got joy sideways. Okay, so this is talking about doing things that make you feel joyful, the act of choosing to do joyful things, the act of saying, I've got to choose joy for myself and my kids and all the things, right? Or whatever. You're going to want to really be in alignment with what brings joy this week and do it as often as you can. Even if it's, cleaning the bathrooms, try to do it with joy. King of the Forest, you got bliss sideways. So this card, basically second time we've seen this one, this is the message that Janelle got as well, which is like, there's some relationships here that are draining you. They're not necessarily going to be the ones who support you. Explaining yourself to people who will not listen or won't see you the way that you would like them to see you. There's no point to it. You might as well just continue to put yourself on blast and to the void, right? So just only use your communication energy for the places that are supporting you and moving in the direction you want. It's always good advice, right? Diane, you got transformation sideways. Okay. So evolving into things are evolving, even though they don't feel like they're evolving. Okay. So sometimes when we're moving slowly, the blossom opens very slowly. Okay. So the card is basically, see, it's the labyrinth energy. You never know in the labyrinth if you're going forward or backwards or you're near the end or the beginning. And this is just a way for you to just say to yourself, I'm trusting the process and that no matter what I do, it's evolving. And so just kind of being in the evolution this week. Okay. Kelly and Matthew. Kelly, clarity sideways. Okay. So this card is saying go deeper with it. And you see all the triangles. Okay. So you've got to go deeper with your relationships. Get clear with who's in your life and why. Be with the people that you want to be with. Don't rush through anything this week. Okay. Especially relationships, lunches, dinners, coffee times. Really be in it and get some clarity about why those relationships are in your life. Okay. Matthew, for you this week, the focus is going to be on why are you not feeling peaceful? What is ruining your peace? Okay. What is getting in the way? What are you not surrendering to? What are you trying to do too much of? Give yourself a chance to really say, I have places where I'm trying to control too much and it's causing my peace to be disturbed. and just kind of see what happens. Okay. Hannah, Isabel, and Carly. Hannah. Oh, you got support right side up. So this is definitely about leaning into the support that you're giving and receiving. Really in the support energies, we could always be better at being there for someone else and being there for ourselves and each other. So just kind of, acknowledging how those relationships are working for you this week. And if you need to be more clear and communicate more about what you need, go for it. Isabella, evolution sideways. So this is like the tip of the iceberg kind of energy where you really don't know how things are evolving yet, but you're going to learn that they're going to evolve. And when you learn that they're evolving, you also learn that they are there's always more that's going to happen. Even though it seems like this is the direction you're going, there's always something more evolving and blossoming in your life. So be curious about that, but know that you're not necessarily going to see it. But just go ahead and do the things that are really clear to you right now to do. Okay. Carly, mirror upside down. Okay. So this is basically saying that right now things are not reflecting who you are genuinely. Okay. So it's okay if there is it's okay if it's a little confusing right now. Sometimes the contrast of what we don't want really, really highlights what we do want. Okay, so give yourself the opportunity to kind of use the contrast to move away from things that aren't serving you. Okay. All right, Eli, joy sideways again, you guys. Third time's a charm. So this card basically is saying that it's going to take an action of ours. This is for all of us now. Okay. We have to make ourselves joyful. We have to acknowledge the joyful feelings inside of us. When I say have to, I mean it's in your best interest, not that like a have to should, but it would be best for you to really focus on feeling joy. And if you're not feeling joy, go find the thing that will help you feel that joy. Okay? All right, eat 100 foods. You got surrender sideways, okay? So this card basically is saying do the thing, allow the thing, let go of control, surrender to the universe, let the universe know what the order is, and give yourself a chance to just really see where you're accidentally holding the door closed when all you have to do is step aside and the door will open, okay? So I know easier said than done sometimes, especially when they're being very vague, right? Like, what does that mean? What do I need to do? But just have the intention to allow and surrender and see what comes up to do that. Okay. Janelle Eiley. I hope I'm saying that right. Eiley. Yes, I know. Kelly and Crystal, both of you. Yeah, they're right on this week, right? Okay, Eiley, you got focus upside down. You're too focused on one thing, or you're too centered on something that is not going to move you forward. Okay. And you're also going to be lots of distraction this week. So that's okay. The distraction actually is trying to get you to stop fixating or ruminating on something so intensely. So it's okay to let this week go into kind of a disorganized focus and then see what then calls you back to focus towards the end of the week. Okay. All right. Robin, Chris, and Austin. Robin, second time we've seen this card right this direction. Intentions, be clear. Sit down and write your intentions out. Say those intentions to yourself every day, because when you do, it will continue to bring you forward so that you can, your actions will be driven by those intentions. And then therefore your intentions will get fulfilled. Okay. Chris, transformation sideways. Second time we've seen that. Diane got that message as well. It's always evolving. You're always moving forward. You can't help it. You're blossoming at all times, but maybe sometimes it feels a little stuck, or you don't really know where you're going, or you're not making the progress you wish you were making, or can't see the progress. All of those things are okay to just surrender into the idea that you are going to be able to have a moment to see what's transformed once you step out of the labyrinth, but maybe not this week. Okay. Austin, you have some choices this week, okay? Separate from what we were seeing before the choices already been made, Austin gets to make some choices this week. It's a good week to lay them out, do the A, B, C, D, pros and cons, to do the things, and then see what wants to show up on your plate there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to throw a card for Matt. And then I am off for the week. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen over the next Sunday, whether or not I'll be on here. But you guys could see I didn't know what was going to happen this week either because of some goings-ons, but we got back in time. So I'm just going to ask that you guys be patient. Check it out. If you hit subscribe and the bell button, you'll see when I go live. And it'll say to you, oh, she did go live. But let's see what I'm going to do. A card for Matt. Okay, so Matt's got grace upside down, which means nobody's going to tell him which direction to go. He has to decide himself. So it's just a awesome reminder that our guides are just our guides. They're not going to do it for us. Okay. All right. So since we're going to hit July before we talk again, let's just do a July reading just to see what it wants to tell us about what's coming. If you're still hanging out, and you would like a card, but you haven't said me please, feel free to type me please in the comments section. I am next month launching a membership site, which will have a meditation, a monthly reading, kind of like this one, but just a little more in depth. And then, and light council transmissions. So anyway, it's called Energy on Purpose. I will be launching it. Look out for that. Okay, here we go. Ready? July. Oh, where can you find my book? Heidi, that's a good question. You can buy it directly on my website, or because if you just go to the metaphysical store, you hit shop and then metaphysical, and there should be a search button. If you just type in Insightful Inspirations, it should pop up. I'm also on Amazon. Yeah, you can find it. You can find it out there. It's just called Insightful Inspirations. So thanks for asking. Let me know how you like it. By the way, my book is designed to be held in your hands and then like contemplate and then open it, almost like an oracle deck. But it's got some kind of like a lesson, a little blurb. And then on the back side of the page is questions to contemplate, journal prompts, meditation prompts, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's my book. All right. For July, balance upside down. Okay. Sometimes it's just a little heads up for us, okay? Sometimes it's just like, you guys, this is how it starts, this is how it feels, and there's going to need some attention to that. So the balance card upside down basically says things are out of balance as the month gets kicked off. The helper card for the month is always good advice. Kindness. Act with love, you guys. What else to do but act with love, right? So be kind during the imbalance for the month of July. And by the end of the month, our vision's changing. It's starting to be a little more clear about what's really going on, what the big picture is by the end of the month. But the kindness card is how we're going to get there, right? So we can't create beauty in our lives if we're being harsh on ourselves. Just the facts. So, giving yourself some time to relax into it. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we did it. We have a little bit of time left, but I think all of you got your me pleases. So I think I'm going to head out. All right, you guys, go be amazing. I'll see you later.